So from a consumer's point of view, I guess it doesn't really make a difference where they see it. I mean, I think there are some brands that they prefer to see in that space. But I think in general, I mean, be it a billboard or a taxi or in a washroom, I mean, if they're seeing the message and they are engaging, I think that's the important thing. I think more from a sort of advertising media point of view, I think that's where the bias might then start to come in. But from a consumer point of view, and at the end of the day, that's really who you are going to target anyway. So, I mean, if they're getting that message and it is clear and they are engaging, then I suppose that's what really counts. So, I mean, I don't think they really mind. If a consumer sees it and they get the message, I mean, sort of, it doesn't really have to be sort of linked to that space. I guess it is about sort of getting your target market to focus in on what you are saying, and I think you can definitely do that because, I mean, from a clutter point of view, they are sitting on the loo, they are looking at your message, there's not really much else for them to do. So, I mean, I think it definitely adds to actually driving your brand. I think it definitely is. I mean, if you look at the marketing mix and you want to add it to, for example, TV, I think you can do that. I mean, it's not going to cost you a whole bunch of money. If you're looking at tactical stuff and you don't have lots of money to spend, I think that's a definite option because it's not going to break the bank and you are going to really achieve what you set out to do in terms of your frequency and trying to get to your target market, etc. I think malls can definitely give you that reach. I mean, we've seen who's walking through those malls and all these malls that are going up. So from that point of view, I think it could definitely assist the reach and help us get the message to the right target market. I think it's cost effective. I think that's a big plus. I think that from a reach point of view, it definitely helps you drive that up when you are looking at a total campaign. And I think it's quite targeted in terms of being very uncluttered because the consumer or customers in that space and there's no real other messages around. So if you're looking at a magazine, for example, you're going through all that stuff, TV, there's a whole bunch of things that they are looking at. So from that point of view, I think it's a lot more focused in terms of what you are saying and the consumer can definitely engage you. Gender segmentation would be, our core target market is women, so that's something that we would want to focus on. Print, because I mean, I guess it is the sort of same type of format, however it is a lot more focused. I guess from a print point of view, you can sort of really get a good sense in terms of who your target market is. But if you look at the numbers in terms of the washrooms versus what you get on print, I mean, I think there you can sort of compare apples with apples. And I think you have some real sort of quantifiable figures that you can then have a look at. I think sort of in the past, as always said that there were X amount of people going through the malls where now you can actually see it, I mean, and there's proof. So like TV has all those numbers and they can prove it, I mean, I guess you can then do the same. And I think that's important in terms of making that decision then. I think people are more open to seeing stuff in the washroom. As I said in the past, is that, I mean, I think no matter where they see the message, I think it's important. I think it was very impactful. I mean, I think so when you went into those loos, people saw exactly or knew exactly what it was. I mean, you didn't really have a choice. I mean, because we have the bright flowers and the green background as well. So, I mean, when you walked out that loo, you were definitely thinking of the Twin Saver brand. So, I mean, if you were going to go into a store after that, I mean, hopefully that was the brand that you were going to take off the shelf. And I think the one thing that we tried to do quite differently was when we had our new Twin Saver luxury roll, and it was really about talking about softness. And I mean, yes, you can have something that the consumer can see and that you can say that it is softer, but how do they actually start to believe you? So one of the ideas was to actually put a roll in the cubicle where people could see the message, but then could also touch it, they could see it, I mean, they could use it as well, I guess, but really bringing that to life. So it's not about us just saying that, it's about what they experience, and having that message plus the experience, I guess, really helps us build the brand. I definitely have a look and see what they are saying. So, I mean, it's not like I just stand there and just ignore it. I mean, I definitely sort of do take note. Generally, from a sort of media plan point of view, I guess we use Washroom when we really want to bolster the campaign in terms of reach. when you want to get that consumer engagement. So yes, they see it when they are sitting on their couch, but then you want those multiple touch points, because I think that's what's important, because the more people see the message, the more they get it. So I think that's really something that we would want to sort of add to the campaign when we drive it. And when it's basically the first thing that we are going to do, I think when budgets are slightly tight, and we think how best are we going to sort of go out there and reach our target market, and how best are we going to spend the money that we have, then I think Washrooms is definitely an option that we would use. Yeah, so from a category point of view, I think it's important that we are the only brands within that space. I mean, I think to now be cluttered with other brands becomes quite difficult, and there are different messages. We have the likes of Always, we have the likes of Baby Soft that are very sort of big brands and really try and drive it. So for us to be in that consumer space and there's nothing else out there, I think is really important. And with other people, I don't think we really get that. I mean, if we are going to be, for example, in a magazine, we can't really control who's going to be there, unfortunately. It's just one of those things, and the consumer then has to make up their mind in terms of what they see. The creative side, I think, is very important. I mean, I think that's the one key thing, is that if you can really come up with a smart message and do it in the best possible way that is engaging, I think from a consumer point of view, they definitely pick that message up a lot faster, and they do then buy into it. So if you can get that right and do it differently, I think it's key for us to drive the brand. Working with the guys from TLC for about 8 years, and I mean, it's always been a good, I mean, if I think back, it's really been good. I mean, I think the guys definitely add value. They always are trying to understand the business and where we are going. They're always coming to us with ideas in terms of what's new. And I think that's really important. And I think it's also about sort of giving and taking as well. So, I mean, they understand us and we understand them. And I think, I mean, if you have that, you can really sort of make things work to your best advantage. So over the years, I've really enjoyed working with the guys. I think they're a great bunch of guys. And I really feel like I'm getting value. It's not like they are just trying to sell me something. I think they are doing it because it is right for my brand. And if I get that feeling, then it makes it a lot easier for me to also buy into the platform. For example, we did stuff on the Cuddlers brand where it was really about owning that space within the clinics. So when people go there, they've got time, they are sitting around. So it was really saying, well, I mean, how best can we then sort of occupy their mind space, I guess. And I mean, you guys did some great reps there as well. I mean, I think it was very impactful. And when people are sitting there from a target market point of view, and I think the brand definitely became top of mind. So from that point of view, it was something that was done differently, and it wasn't just within that washroom space.